The former Home Secretary Suella Braverman was with Nick Ferrari at breakfast this morning, and the majority of the interview was around the Israeli-Gaza conflict, but he did get to asking her a little bit about the state of the party, and it's clear she has absolutely no idea about politics. In the clip I'm about to show you, you can see on one hand she blames Rishi Sunak for not listening to her crazy ideas, but on the other hand, she doesn't want his job, or at least claims she doesn't want his job. The elections are usually won on the centre ground, and the party that appeals most to those centrists are the ones that will pick up the extra votes it needs to win. The Tories have swung too far to the right, but according to Braverman, that's not right enough, and she wants to go further. There was, however, one thing that did jump out at me, and that was when the talk turned to removing our human rights. And to be clear, that's removing your rights to send 300 people to Rwanda. I noticed how it was the same rhetoric as leaving the EU. We were told that leaving the EU meant that we could take back control. We can take back control of our laws. We can take back control of our borders. And we wouldn't have any foreign courts telling us what we can do. Well, look how that's turned out. And look now what she says about leaving the ECHR.
And the plan that I put forward to the Prime Minister was that we need to have a large number of flights going to Rwanda on a regular basis. You know, the point is that I've got a fundamental disagreement with the government on the plan as it stands today. I do believe that we may well get a flight off, a token flight with a low number of passengers on it to Rwanda. That's not deterrence. The only way we generate a deterrent effect to stop people getting on the boats and coming into the UK illegally is regular flights with hundreds of passengers on those flights.
One of those obstacles, of course, is the membership of the ECHR. The Prime Minister hinted last week he was prepared to leave that. Do you imagine the Cabinet would allow that to happen? Do you see that ever happening?
Well, listen, I mean, from my own discussions, I've been very... I was calling to leave the ECHR back in 2022. When I was Home Secretary, I was constantly urging the Prime Minister to take bolder action and go further. He did regularly disagree with me on many of the suggestions that I made to him. My view does still stand that ultimately to regain control of our borders properly and faithfully to the British people, we do need to ultimately leave the European Convention on Human Rights. We do that via Article 58 of the Convention. We have to give 6 months' notice to the Council of Europe, and then we're able to take back control of our laws, take back control of our borders, design a new domestic human rights framework that properly reflects the needs of the British people, but also enables us not to be dictated by a foreign court in Strasbourg.
You know him. Do you think Mr Sunak would ever do it? Leave the ECHR?
Well, judging from my conversations with him, he never agreed with me on the proposition that I just set out now. I've been very clear, however, that the state of the party is not a good one. And I've been urging him for some time to change course, to take measures to lower legal migration, to take measures on hate marches and extremism in the UK, to take measures on national security and illegal
marches, because that attracted a lot of controversy. A lot of people are saying they're peace marches, Mr Braverman.
I would still maintain that description.
The fate of the Conservative Party at the general election, whenever it might be held, how are they going to fare?
I'm very concerned. I am very concerned about what poll after poll demonstrates. Listen, it's my job, and I sought to do this as Home Secretary, to speak honestly, to speak the truth, even if it may be uncomfortable. I owe that to the people who've sent me to Parliament, and I owe that to you. And so the honest truth is that we are heading for a defeat, to put it mildly, at the general election. I very much hope that we change course and that we improve the offer to the British people. Ultimately, measures on tax cuts, measures on migration, measures on national security and social cohesion and extremism are insufficient to do that.
But you were Home Secretary. Why didn't you stop the boats?
Well, the reality is, Nick, is that I put forward a plan that would have stopped the boats, and I wasn't allowed to deliver that plan by the Prime Minister.
It's clear that Braverman has been having some interview lessons, because in the past she's been absolutely dire. And if you want to see her at her peak awfulness, then you need to watch the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.